am Mary.
I'm Jerry.
And welcome to the
Mary and Jerry podcast,
where we have unscripted,
unafraid,
I don't know, insanely crazy
unpredictable
conversations about marriage and family,
life and love,
bacon, and everything in between.
And we're glad you're here.
So glad you're here.
So today, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my little princess in your tiara.
Thank you for those of you on YouTube.
Happy birthday to you. That's right. My honey, when you see this hear this podcast, it will be my honey lamb's 26th anniversary of her 30th birthday.
That was very well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually did practice that part.
We didn't practice the intro. We never get it right. We probably should actually write it down. That would help with things.
You mean a script? Then
Yes.
we would not be totally
It's
unscripted.
That's
right,
correct.
That's right.
That is correct.
That's part of our charm.
Yes. So when this podcast drops, I will be turning 56 years old. 56 years young, really. Because age is just a number. It's kind of like when somebody asked me one time, how much do you weigh? I followed the internet's instructions and I said, I weigh 100 plus. What was it that I said?
100 sexy pounds.
100 sexy pounds.
You realize that you've actually now been alive for 8 presidents?
Is that what you were just doing?
Yes.
I was watching your lips move and are you counting?
I was counting presidents since you were born.
Oh my gosh. Yes, 8 presidents since more than that.
No, since you were born.
Since I was born.
Yes, 8.
No, it's been
Yes.
7 presidents since we were married.
So that makes you even older. 9.
That's correct. There has to be at least
10.
9 or
wait.
10.
Oh, wait, hold on.
10. I was
1,
born in
2,
1967.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my
presidents.
gosh, you are like the ancient of days.
Sweetheart, you've been alive for 11
I'm like
presidents as
Methuselah.
well.
No, I'm
Are you 12?
Nope, I'm 11.
There you go. See, we're the same. We're equal. Especially in the eyes of God.
So today is your birthday.
Yes.
And okay, so she doesn't know this, but I have a plan.
Oh boy.
So
I'm not sure I really, do you ever really have a plan or you just kind of pull it out of the back pocket?
You mean do a cranial rectal extraction?
Sure.
Anyway. So I will say that there are a lot of days that I truly am in awe that you actually made it to the age of 56, considering the childhood you have, like, considering some of the antics you did.
Great childhood.
You did. I'm just saying I'm amazed sometimes you survived it, like when you played paratroopers with your brothers. Let's tell the people about that.
Tell the paratrooper story. Okay. So if
you don't believe that God has a sense of humor, here you go.
Or that he protects you, or your guardian angel intercedes for you.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's been really busy for 56 years.
Here's your guardian angel just going, oh, gosh, what are you doing now?
What is she doing? Stop.
Stop.
No, she did it. I was probably 6 or 7, maybe 8. No, I wasn't as old as 8. Was my sister alive yet? No. So I was 7. Probably 7 or 8, yeah.
So before the age of reason.
Well, I'm not sure I even had reason and common sense at the age of reason. So that aside, so my brothers were very, I have 6 brothers and 1 sister, and my brothers were all boy. Like they loved to play war. They loved to play fireman. They loved to play policeman. They just were all boys. And my older brother Christopher had kind of an obsession with airplanes at that time. He's a brilliant man. He's an engineer. Brilliant.
Yes, they all survived into
adulthood. They all are
adulthood.
engineers in one kind or another: computer, mechanical, electrical, fire,
whatever.
And then teachers.
Mostly things that involve pyrotechnics.
Yes.
Funny how that works.
Anyway, so we had watched some John Wayne movie with my dad.
That's right, Pilgrim.
And so we decided to play paratroopers. And so what we did was my house was you had one level and then you had a basement. But out the back of the house, it only looked like one level from the front, but the back you had kind of a 2-story porch out the back, right?
Right.
And then the bedrooms are to the left. So what we did was we took our pillows and put them on the ground outside.
Oh, so somebody was thinking about something then.
So we were thinking about safety. Safety
Safety
first.
first. Yeah.
You had to have a soft place to land.
Right.
And then we took our sheets off our bed and we punched out the screen window of the second story. And we
Oh my God.
we jumped out of the window with our sheets playing paratroopers, and we landed. Nobody broke a bone.
Amazing. Because didn't your family have like pre-filled out forms at the local emergency room?
There was at one point, I mean, back in the day in the 1970s, that my mom would walk into the ER with one of my brothers for an arm, an ankle, a knee. Stitches were usually involved.
Well, they just had the file folder. They just pulled it out. Oh, here's the Green family.
I didn't break anything or harm anything till I was a senior in high school. And of course, I did it brilliantly when I was in Florida on a band trip.
Stick to the story.
Anyways, where I got pushed in the pool by a really cute guy. But anyway, that aside, so we were playing paratrooper, and my mom noticed that we kept going in the front door. Like we kept coming in the front door, but she never heard us leaving. And so after a little bit of time,
after a while, Sherlock caught on
she walked down the hall, and my brother Tim was jumping out the window.
Of course it was. It had to be Tim.
Well, my brothers had bunk beds, so we stood on top of the bunk bed and jumped out the window. And so my mom was like, "What are you doing?"
Oh my God.
And my mother.
What did your father say?
Okay, hold on. We'll get to Daddy in a minute. But Mom did not curse. The first time I heard my mother curse, I think I was in my 30s and I almost passed out. But she did not when we were little. And so she was like yelling. And I think back to that moment and I'm like,
Did she use the Jesus, Mary, and Joseph? Oh, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
No, that was my dad's favorite.
Okay.
No, she would my mother was always interceding with our guardian angels.
Yeah, I bet.
That's why we said the guardian angel prayer every night. At bedtime.
Yeah.
We said, angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here, ever this day be at my side, to light, to guard, to rule, to guide. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
I say it every night, even to this day.
Okay, so Mom
found Tim, and
ready
then
in the
she
door
looks
to
out.
jump.
She looks out the window, and we're like, "Come on, Timmy, jump!"
Yeah.
And then we see Mom's face, and we're all like, uh-oh. So everybody grabs their pillow and their sheet, and we like disperse.
Like, where are you gonna go?
I don't know. We were 7, 8 years old. I don't know. We were not thinking. Our frontal cortex was not fully developed.
And then what did your father do?
Well, my mom sent us to our rooms, and she said, "You have to wait
till your father gets home." Oh yes, I remember. For those of us of a certain age, we remember those dreaded words.
Yes, well, I think that people still say them today. But anyways, so yeah, we had to wait until Dad got home, and then I think we all got three swats across the butt, and we had to apologize to my mother for causing her stress and concern, and we got some punishment. There's always manual labor punishment with my dad, so
that's right.
I don't remember what it was.
Give the ship a good sweet fore and aft, right?
That's right.
Now, lest you all think that was the end of my wife's the juvenile delinquency. So we'll talk about this in another podcast, but last weekend, we were doing one of those marriage building DIY projects, and we found our high school yearbooks. Now, my yearbook, of course, we won't discuss that because it was the 1980s.
It's very awkward. You were very awkward in high school.
Yeah, I know. I was not quite as handsome and debonair as I am now. I was a little awkward, teeny bit. Anyway, however, you take the cake, because what was in your yearbook, honey?
Well, I had so I had a teacher. His name was Mr. Keegan. He was my journalism teacher when I was a junior and senior in high school. And this was when I was kind of exploring the idea that I wanted to be a journalist or a writer. And I am dyslexic. And so Mr. Keegan was always very, very patient with me. He was very, he always held my feet to the fire, but he was very encouraging. And he was like, of course you can be a writer. And he was just kind of that teacher for me in high school that really believed in me. And so, but he knew me very well. And I would, when I was a junior in high school, I was hanging out with the wrong people. I was doing stupid things. And my father was an attorney, and he had a friend that worked in the juvenile detention system. And so one Friday afternoon, Dad picked me up from school, and I'm like, "Why are you here?" I wasn't in trouble currently at that time.
Yeah, let's be clear. At that time,
I wasn't in trouble. But then, he said, "We're going somewhere." And so he took me to the juvenile detention center, and I got a tour. And at the end of that tour,
a TV show called like Scared Straight
or Orange is the New Black. I don't know. But Daddy, I remember being in the waiting room, and I came out of the tour, and I was just looking at Dad like, "What, am I supposed to volunteer here? Like, what's going on?" And he goes, "Do you want to end up here?" And I just looked at him, and I was like, "Well, no, Dad, I look horrible in orange." And my father just shook his head, and he goes, "Oh, dear Lord Jesus, please help me." And he's like, "Mary Beth, if you continue to make poor decisions,
poor life choices,
this is where you're going to be." And so I'm like, okay, this is not where I want to be. I don't want to. I mean, I love the color orange now, but I didn't then. So
is it in your color palette now?
It is, as a soft autumn. It is like a burnt orange is in there.
Okay.
So there's fire applied to it. But no, I just, when I was a kid,
Wait, you haven't finished the Mr. Keegan story yet. Oh my gosh. Focus. Stay on task.
So as I was going through my yearbook, I'm reading all of these, "Hey, Mary, it's just so great to know you."
Half those people,
I don't. Do you?
Oh, yeah. I remember everyone
that signed your yearbook?
Yes, I do.
Oh, no, I don't remember half of them.
I only had 150 people in my high school graduating class.
368?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember. Anyways, so I found this page where Mr. Keegan signed it, and he's like, "I'm, really proud of you and everything you've accomplished," so on and so forth. And he's like, "I wish you all the best next year in college, blah, blah, blah." And then at the end of his name, there was an asterisk. And I'm like, asterisk? Like, he never signed his name with an asterisk. So I looked down at the bottom of the page, and there's an asterisk there, and it says, "And please stay out of jail."
True story. But wait, there's more. So when her father died, we're at his wake.
Okay, but they don't even know the stories that go with that.
With what?
With what happened at my dad's wake.
Oh.
I haven't shared those.
You're right. We should share the story of my wife, the criminal mastermind in 8th grade.
Well, actually, we're going to go back a little further because there's one.
There's more?
Well, there was one I thought you were going to ask me about, but you didn't.
What's that?
The Knights of the Round Table.
Oh, oh, of course. How can I forget that? Oh, yes.
Mary's
of course.
one brush with pyromania.
Oh, my gosh.
I was 10. And my brothers again.
So you were above the age of reason at this point.
I didn't. My frontal cortex was not fully developed.
Okay, go ahead.
And we had these old broomsticks downstairs, and we in the basement in the summertime was cooler, so we would always play in the basement. And
broomsticks.
I think Tim, my brother Tim, and my brother Joe, I think had just read Knights of the Round Table or King Arthur or something, and we decided to go be Knights of the Round Table. And so we had this old fashioned furnace. And you could see the flames. There's like this little sort of open door, shall we say.
We had one of those in our house that almost burned our house down when we moved in. But I digress.
And so we stuck the broomsticks into the flame and lit them afire. And we pretended we were Knights of the Round Table.
Marching around the basement.
Through the forest with flaming broomsticks.
Full of flammable materials.
And my dad was like, he smelled something and he was like, "What's going on over there?"
"Nothing, Dad. We're just playing."
And then we heard his footsteps and he started coming down. So we dumped the broomsticks into the toilet, which turned the white toilet like black.
Oh my gosh.
And then we ran outside, and Dad found the broomsticks on the floor in the bathroom with the toilet, the black water. He called us all in.
Now, when he calls you in, do you have to like stand in formation?
You line up by age. It's from oldest to youngest. It's how it always was. And you never let him ask Joe anything. My younger brother, he's a year younger than me, and Joey was always the one to break first.
He was the weak link.
Always the one to break first. So you never let Dad go at him first.
I noticed you were not.
No, I was strong. I was filled with the dark side. I could manipulate my way out of many, many situations. I just, I was a young girl, full of adventure, full of dreams. I was,
full of mischief.
Full of mischief. I was a rebel. I wanted to
Rebel
be
without a
seen
clue.
and to be known, and
well,
I
you're
was
known.
always.
When you have your mugshot taken, you're very well known.
I don't have a mugshot.
So
thank
what
you
did
very
your
much.
father say?
But my dad was just like, "Are you trying to burn the house down? Like, we're fine if you want to go outside and play war, do it,
Beat each other with
up,
sticks.
like no blood, no foul. But like this is flames in your mother's. It was always my mother's house, in your mother's basement. This is not acceptable." So I think we had to clean the basement, which was like,
oh, that would have been bad.
Den pit of hell. Like it was. We had to go through all my dad's books and put them up on bookcases. We had to wax the floor.
Wax on.
Bad.
Wax
it was
off.
bad. But then no, when I was in the 7th grade,
lest you think she learned her lesson from that. No.
I cheated on a history test with Miss Perry.
History. That explains so much.
And I end up married to you, which is just funny.
God has a sense of humor and maybe a small sense of revenge.
Yes, and so I never recommend that. Please don't cheat, lie, or steal. It's just not a good idea.
Especially on history tests.
History tests, or where there are nuns involved. Just it's not wise.
Like Sister Merceda?
It looks like a cheetah. That's 6th grade. We're not going to talk about that one. Anyways, we're moving on. So by the time I got to 8th grade,
you were a graduate criminal mastermind.
I just, I was striving so hard to be not a green. Like I was known as, oh, you're a green. Oh, you're a green. Oh, you're Chris's sister. Oh, you're Joe's sister. Like nobody knew my name. I was just a sister, or I was a green, or Joe Green's daughter, or Bunny Green's daughter. Like I'm like, excuse me, my name's Mary Beth. I got my own stuff.
How many Mary Beths were in your class?
Oh, we had 3 Mary Beths. We had a Mary Chris, a Mary Therese, a Mary Kate, a Mary.
So obviously name recognition wasn't really a big deal.
No, not because people would call you by your last name,
Right.
Hey, Green.
Okay,
hey, that.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Because if you threw a ball down the hall, you'd hit a Mary something, right?
Right, pretty much. I was, I played soccer. I played basketball. I was not a very good athlete, but I was at least participating. And when I was in the 7th grade, the famous story that I told in
previous podcast,
and Be Bold and the Broken, where I,
took the girl out.
No, that was basketball in cheerleading, where I stuffed my bra to prove something.
Oh, that was a classic story from
Be
Bold
Brave
and
Be Bold and the Broken.
Be Bold and the Broken.
That's in that
available at Amazon and fine bookstores everywhere.
Anyways,
so let's talk about your 8th grade criminal mastermind.
Myself
prank.
and my best friend Suzanne and our friend Mary Beth, another Mary Beth. We decided we were gonna pull a prank on the 8th grade boys. So I think it was like a month before graduation, which is really not good to do that a month before graduation. And I had seen some, I don't know, movie or something, read it in a book. And I thought we can do this. So what we did was Mary Beth and Suzanne were the lookouts. I went into the boys' bathroom. I saran wrapped the toilets. I put Vaseline on the toilet seats and clear toothpaste on the light switch.
So you realize that even though they were the lookouts in criminal court, you are all equally culpable.
Yes, but we were not all equally punished. So, what I didn't know was during morning recess, Brother William, who was our principal, always
took the sports page to the bathroom. Do we need to say more?
No, he always used the restroom. So I was unaware of this because I was usually
he took
out.
The sports page.
Okay, whatever.
You have to be very clear. He took the sports page to the men's room.
I was usually out at recess, so I didn't know this. And so we heard him coming down the hall, and we were like, oh my gosh, we got to get out. And so we go running into the girls' bathroom. And we stood up on the toilets and hid behind the doors until we could no longer hear his voice, which never really happened because he sat down.
And then who did he call?
He screamed. Oh my gosh, he yelled, Miss Jordan.
Right.
And Miss Jordan was in charge of the 7th and 8th grade girls, and
it's
Mr. Sharp was in charge of the 7th and 8th grade boys.
Did it.
And like she was the one that you went to when you got detention and stuff like that. No, he didn't know that it was us. But Miss Jordan had a clue that maybe.
Yeah, I think he,
she came into the girls' bathroom and she's like, I know you're in here. I don't know who it is, but I expect better from my girls, blah, 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 blah. And then she started like slamming open the bathroom doors. And I was in like the second stall. So she got me first. Like, oh man, she slammed. I got a big bruise on my elbow. It was really painful. Anyways. But that particular prank got me not just sent to Brother
No, but
Williams'
wait, hold on.
office.
You missed it. You didn't give up your friends.
I didn't know.
Because
she stopped at
snitches
me
get stitches.
and she's like, of course.
Of course.
Miss Green, go to my classroom right now and wait for me there. And then she, I think she probably. But
wait.
the other two stayed in the bathroom and they didn't get caught.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so when she came, she goes, I know you didn't do this alone. And I'm like, yeah, I did it alone. And so when I saw the other two girls later that afternoon, the word had spread. I became very popular for a while, which was nice.
But wait, there's more. And where did you go?
But they sent me to Father Madigan's office, who was the pastor of the parish.
The pastor, not the principal. The pastor.
And he called my parents, as in my dad and my mom came. Which is bad. Like usually it was just my mom.
Work day.
Oh yeah, dad came. And so my mother was just, she made me apologize. She made me go back into Miss Jordan and apologize. I had to go into Brother Williams' office. I couldn't even look him in the face. I was like, ew, you like sit down to like, ew, go potty, ew. I was in the 8th grade. I'm like, ew. Like I had a 10-year-old's brain. And I had to look him in the eye and say, I'm so sorry. And actually mean it, which I'm not sure I did, but I just wanted out.
You were sorry you got caught.
I wanted out. And then Father Madigan said, I expect to see you here at confession this weekend. Yes, Father. And
so you're walking out
we're
to the car.
walking out to the car. And my dad looks at me and he goes, that was freaking brilliant. Why'd you have to get caught? That's the stupid part. And then he just kept walking. And I'm like, wait, Dad said I was brilliant. Like I had a great prank. This was awesome. But then when I got home, my mom said that because I was so fascinated with bathrooms,
with boys' bathrooms,
I now had to clean the bathroom for the next 6 weeks with a toothbrush and bleach. And then the upstairs bathroom, we had 1-inch penny tiles that were white. Mm-hmm. Did I mention I have 6 brothers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not so great aim.
So let's fast forward to your father's funeral and and the wake. So we're at the wake.
We're at the wake. Daddy has passed away.
And Mrs. Who was
Mrs. Loftus.
Mrs. Loftus.
Who was my 8th grade, my 7th and 8th grade English teacher.
Comes up to you and says,
I'm so surprised to see you here. I thought you would be in prison.
And she was totally serious. She was not kidding at all. She was totally serious. And you know,
and my brother Chris was standing next to me. He goes, "Oh, they let her out for good behavior."
That's right. You guys count on your big brother. Like, and then Father Madigan, who is from the old country,
right? He's from Ireland.
He walks in
across the room. There's my father's dead body in the casket. Everybody's there. My son is there. My husband is there. My brothers, across the room. He's like, "Hi, Mary Beth. So good to see you. You're not incarcerated. This is beautiful." I'm like, what is this obsession with people in my grade school that thought I would be in prison?
Well, I think we've just had evidence of that, don't you?
I know, but I had been in youth ministry. I was the head student on the student council sort of thing of our youth ministry for 4 years when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. Like I was at church every Sunday. They knew I wasn't in prison.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, needless to say, I was just somebody who really was desperate for attention, and that led to a lot of really poor decision making.
Well, let's talk about poor decisions because now we consider ourselves very seasoned, experienced people. And how do we become seasoned, experienced people, dear?
Well, poor decision making usually leads to failure, and failure leads to lessons learned, and lessons learned leads to wisdom. So
that's right. So
I
basically,
am
exceedingly wise because
we did other stupid things too. That was just
life
some funny
choices.
Stories. Yeah.
So, you ready? You ready for this?
I don't know if I'm ready.
So now that you are the very seasoned, experienced, like a fine wine, actually, really serious, I'd say a 56-year-old bottle of wine or even 56-year-old bottle of scotch would truly be a treasure to be prized. I am
a treasure.
You are.
To be prized.
Yes, more than like a 56-year-old bottle of Macallan's.
I would really love it one day if the way you just described that bottle of Macallan's and the look on your face, you would look at me.
Like a 56-year-old. Anyway, let's move on. So now that you are 56 years old.
No, let's not move on. Let's back it up just a little bit.
I would savor you like I would savor that 56-year-old bottle of Macallan's, baby. Just a little at a time.
Oh, Jerry, stop.
Oh, sorry, we're a family-rated show, so let's move on. So here we go. So now that you are 56,
yes,
what would, if you could go back in time,
yes,
like a TARDIS? What is that thing from Doctor Who? I don't even know Doctor Who.
yes.
TARDIS, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell your 18-year-old self?
Get your shazazzle together, girlfriend.
Well,
I would tell my 18-year-old self that you are worth love, that you are enough exactly as God made you, and to stop striving so darn hard to have other people like you.
Wow, that's very profound.
Because I know who I was at 18 and I was lost. I didn't think I'd ever I wanted desperately to have a boyfriend, to have that.
You were looking for love in all the wrong places.
And I just, I would tell her that, my earthly father, my dad was a functioning alcoholic till I was 19. And, he loved me. I know he loved me. He was not very verbal about it growing up, but I just wanted to feel cherished by somebody. And I was willing to give up things in order to have that.
So,
what are you doing with the sound effects today?
Because we're a high quality podcast. Okay, so now you're 25. So you're a young mom, couple of kids. We'll set aside the extra Courtney factor for the moment.
Okay.
But just young mom, 25. We could actually set aside the Navy wife because that was a whole extra complication. But young moms, what would you say to young moms who are, in the midst of the what do you call it? In the midst of the
hardest season of their life?
Hardest season of their life.
I should say it's every season of motherhood has its own hardship. Every woman is different. And
did you
how they
expect to be
handle
a mother at the age of 22?
No. I was 22 when I had Jonathan.
22 with Jonathan.
Then we had a miscarriage, and I was 25 when I had Courtney.
Yeah, so we had our kids very young.
I would tell my 25-year-old self not to stop being afraid, that I was the perfect mom for my children because God decided that, and that he knew best. And I would tell her to, again, stop striving so darn hard to be seen, because when I fully embraced who God made me to be, when I embraced my bold personality, when I embraced my love of fabric and all things clothes and statement earrings.
All things clothes. Don't forget shoes.
Shoes.
You forgot
an accessory.
Shoes.
But I mean, those are sort of superficial things. When I embraced being who I am, who is a natural encourager of people,
right?
Someone who will listen to you and hear you. I am not afraid of your sin. I'm not afraid of your past. You can come to me and say,
because pretty much at this point we've been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Yes,
right?
I mean, I haven't had an abortion. I haven't done drugs.
Okay,
that's about
those two. Yeah. Okay. We'll give us
pretty
those
much everything
two.
else. But I those things don't.
People's brokenness does not intimidate you.
I embrace it, and I pour as much as the Lord's love as I can in that moment when I'm with them into them. And when I learned that God loves me no matter what, when I really learned that, when I learned to receive that love, everything changed in my life. And so when I look back at my young self, I just see a very broken little girl who just wanted to be loved and cherished. And she made...
Aren't you loved and cherished?
I am very loved and cherished by you.
I do bring you coffee every morning.
Well, yes, that's one way you love and cherish me. But I think even in our young marriage, we went through, we'll talk about it.
That's several podcasts.
The whole
upcoming
porn, premarital sex, all of that.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah, pretty much.
No drugs.
Yeah.
Just sex and rock and roll.
Well, food was my drug of choice. But just when we were going through all of that, I was so lost. I didn't.
You once were lost, but now are found.
Now I'm found. Amen. I didn't feel the power of my feminine genius. I didn't know who I was as a wife, as a mom, as a woman. And I had to go to the darkest places in order for the Lord to meet me there and bring me out of them.
Wow. Okay, that sounds like another podcast. Okay, wait.
But no.
One more.
Yeah.
So now we...
Oh my gosh, that noise is so annoying.
So now,
I love you so much.
what
but
do
that's
you
annoying.
tell? Because we've actually had this question. I know you've
I
had this
have to
question.
adjust my tiara. Excuse me.
Had this question. What do you say to women?
Yes.
Well, let's say women, right? Because that's your people, that's your demographic.
Well, I am a woman.
Yes. Who are now, in their 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Their children are not at home.
Right.
Either they've married, moved out, they're in
Right.
college, they're in the Army, they're just, whatever.
In the Army. They're in the Navy. But go ahead.
Well, if they chose wisely. Otherwise, they're in the Army digging ditches and sleeping in them, but whatever. So now you've got these empty nesters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is really a misnomer, because are you really actually ever an empty nester?
Well, we have a border collie, so no.
Yeah, that's true too. What do you say to them that they're like, okay, so what do I do now? I've spent my whole life raising my kids.
Got
my
you.
kids
I'm
are
ready.
out.
I see where you're going here.
What's left for me?
The
what do I do?
greatest adventure you've ever known. I say to them, as I say to myself, get freaking excited, because your life is just getting started. And what do I mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
I mean every lesson that I learned the hardest way possible. I now have the wisdom of that. I have a deeper faith and walk with the Lord than I ever have.
Right.
And I have all of this life experience.
Which leads to wisdom.
Which means that I sit at the feet of those women that went before me. My 82-year-old mother, who is a boss, okay? She had a very different upbringing. She went through a lot in her young life. She's been a widow for 21 years. She had 8 children in 10 years.
She has no filter.
But at 82,
which I aspire to. Because at 82, it's like, all right, I'm just going to tell you exactly what I think.
She taught me how to serve. My mother serves the homeless.
Yes.
She is very active in her parish, and she's 82. And people are like, 82? I'm going to be like sitting in a rocking chair. Heck no, you're not. If there is breath in your body, there is work for you to do.
Right.
And there is no more important work than to serve another in the name of Christ. And so there are women that are so excited to be grandparents, and they're all in Grammy land. And there's women that are going back to work. They put their career, or they didn't have one necessarily when they got married and had kids. And they're finding all of these new strengths about themselves. For myself, I'm kind of in both worlds. Like, I love spending time with our family, especially now that we have a grandchild. And, it's just an absolute delight to be around our son and his wife, and we love them deeply. But I also am an entrepreneur. I'm a speaker. I'm a writer. I'm a published author. So I've got, I don't work in an office. I work in my office. I don't work in an office building, but I have
that's another podcast.
I have about like
office.
5 jobs, and I love all of them. And I've never had as much fun as I'm having right now. We've never had as much time together to kind of really pour into our marriage and pour into each other, even though our bodies look different. Our likes and dislikes are slightly different than they were, 35 years ago. And it's an adventure, and I'm good with it. The hot flashes, I could really do without those.
Me too.
That could be nice. But yeah, I would say there's nothing to worry about. Your life isn't over. It's just getting started. You're in a new season, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Team Mary. Come on.
Wow.
Woo.
Okay. So here we go. Last birthday question.
Oh, boy.
What is your most memorable birthday as a child? We'll qualify that.
Okay, my most memorable. I only
good or bad. I mean, we'll be honest.
I have 3 or 4 very brief memories.
Okay.
First, when I was 5,
right,
my parents had a big party. All of my kindergarten class came, and they had a clown that made balloon animals. Not a good choice. Number 1.
Balloon animals are cool. I could skip the clown.
Number 2, when I was 13, when in my house, when you were 13, Mom there was some sort of special birthday. Like one of my brothers, you were a teenager, and one of my brothers went up in a plane. Another brother got to go to what was it? Black. What's the rock band? Black Sabbath. My dad had no idea.
They took your 13-year-old brother to a Black Sabbath concert? Oh, my gosh.
My mom and dad had no idea who they were. And they
I
went.
would have paid good money to see that.
They came home a little early. Dad was very concerned about the quality of the people that they were around.
Yeah, with the cloud of smoke of dubious origin they were in. Wow, look at all the pretty colors, man.
That was the last concert that any of us ever went to.
That is
I remember
epic.
that. And then for my 13th
they didn't
birthday,
get a hint from the name Black Sabbath.
I don't,
that was Tim, wasn't it?
No, it was Christopher.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, they Joey went up in a plane. I don't know what Tim did. I don't know what the rest of them did. Planes were big, like a glider.
Right.
One of them went deep sea. I think Joey went deep sea fishing. You know, it was just a day. It was a day either with my mom or my dad or with your friends. And so I have always wanted a sleepover. So I invited like 6 of my closest friends at the age of 13. So I was in 8th grade.
Was Suzanne and Mary Beth among those, your criminal cohorts?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They were there.
Okay, just checking.
And so the thing is that my mom ordered a 6-foot sub from Jerry's Subs.
For those of you who remember Jerry's Subs in the
Yes.
DC metro area.
So they came, the sub was down the middle of the dining room table, and all the girls came in to eat, and all of them, including myself, we all had braces, and nobody could eat the bread. So my mom ordered pizza, and my brothers ate the 6-foot sub.
Did your brothers eat the wrapping, or did your mother unwrap it first?
She unwrapped it first.
Very wise.
And then the final one, I remember my 18th birthday because my parents gave me this beautiful ring that I still have that has a single pearl in it. And I love pearls. They're my favorite of
I know, I brought you some.
You did. You gave me a pearl necklace when Jonathan was born and a pearl bracelet when Courtney was born.
That's right.
Push presents. I didn't even know there was a thing. And I don't think that's why you gave them to me. But anyways. Yeah. Like you get like,
yeah, I get
like we're Kardashians or something.
I get the context.
Anyways,
but
no, those came home from 2 different deployments. So that's what those were. Anyways.
Okay.
I remember that. And then I remember my 21st birthday. You gave me 21 long stem pink roses.
That's right.
And I remember my 30th birthday when Jerry was in the middle of the Mediterranean and he forgot. He forgot my birthday. And my parents sent me 30 long stem pink roses.
Good thing your parents were there to step up.
Darn,
I was busy serving our country.
Uh-huh.
Yep, I'm going to pull that card. Speaking of cards, So
we have, not so many people have left us not so newlywed questions. So Jerry decided to take it upon himself.
So I got these things on Amazon called talking point cards for couples. Conversations with purpose.
Okay.
Your deck contains 200 questions cards across 4 categories.
God help us.
Each category is designed to engage a different stage of relationships so you can have a comfortable conversation.
Oh boy.
So the 4 categories are getting to know you, our life together, diving deeper, and something different.
And because it's my birthday episode, he's going to ask me one from each category. I am so excited. I can't wait.
Okay, here we go.
Question number 1. No, go from the top, the yellow ones. The
what's
yellow
the
one
ones?
is get to know you.
Okay, hold on.
But don't you already know me?
Oh, no, you asked this about the other person. Oh, this could be super fun. Okay, hold on.
Don't, you can't go through them.
Here we go. No. I found the perfect one. And this is for you to answer about me.
Oh,
What's
okay.
something I do all the time that drives you nuts? Go ahead. Be nice.
Just one thing?
This is a family show.
Just one thing?
Yeah, you have to pick out just one. Thank you.
You always have to have the last word.
True.
And did you do that just to make a point?
Yes.
And when you get mad, you pace. You pace and you're like, you word vomit and you just pace back and forth. And
I
back
call
and
that
forth
verbally process, but okay, I'll buy that.
See the last word? Have to have the last word.
Absolutely.
Last word.
Yes.
Okay.
Next category. Here we go.
What's the category?
Our life together.
Oh,
now,
boy.
This is perfect for your birthday. What do you most look forward to about getting old?
I pray that I get to get very, very old with you by my side.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like senior citizens discounts at the theater.
No, that would be you.
That's me. Oh, maybe that is me.
That is you.
True.
What do I look for? The fact that I have the privilege of life, that we have our son, our daughter-in-law, our grandson.
Ooh.
We have deep friendships with people that we've known for many decades. I just, that I get to serve and love the Lord this side of heaven. I mean, I'm just getting started.
Okay, you ready?
But what category is this?
This is diving deeper.
Oh, great.
How do you think our relationship has changed over the last 5 years?
Over the last 5 years? Oh, that's a great question.
Thank you. I try.
Our relationship has changed over the last 5 years. Our grief has matured in regards to burying our daughter 9 years ago. So we're not so consumed by that. We spend a lot more time together than we ever have in our married life.
I know, kind of crazy, isn't it?
It is.
It's kind of crazy.
And we dream together like we've never dreamed before.
Right.
We have goals with our businesses and such that we never thought we'd get the opportunity to be where we are. And so, gosh, yeah. And like the roles within the house have changed a little bit because I travel more.
Never fear, I'm still not cooking most of the time.
Praise
that
God.
would be bad.
That would be bad. But
that.
lots of, you and I share in a way now than we.
Sometimes we overshare, I'm just saying.
Wow.
Just going to put that out there in the verse.
I don't overshare. I share my heart. And my heart is constantly overflowing, as is my brain.
Sadly, on the podcast, you cannot see the face I am making on the YouTube video, but needless to say, it is disbelief and suspension. Yes, your heart overflows.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. How do you think our marriage has changed over the last 5 years?
Oh, we definitely spend a lot more time together.
Is that a good thing?
I think it is because we spend...
I'm glad you said that.
Well, we spend time, like you said, we spend time together differently now, right? Like when Courtney was still alive, our time was always, how's Courtney? What do we got to do next? And, and then...
Or when Jonathan was home, where did he need to go? What did he need
exactly.
to do? Yeah.
What's going on with Jonathan?
Yeah.
And now it's... there's still some element of, okay, what's on the calendar today? We have to have calendar coordination meetings, we did, but we didn't because Courtney would blow away the calendar most days anyway. But yeah, I think we spend a lot, we do a lot more fun things together now because we couldn't, to be brutally honest, we couldn't do them.
Yeah, true.
Then.
Right.
And yeah, it's been kind of interesting being in business with you and seeing the creative process at work. If y'all ever live with an artiste, it's pretty intense. I can totally see why Van Gogh cut his ear off.
Oh my God.
Trying to finish Be Brave and the Scared, I almost cut things off.
Wow. Okay. Next question.
We were literally up till midnight the day the draft manuscript was due, trying to add 6 more pages.
I had to add 8,000 more words.
And I'm like, every single one of those words hurt. All right.
Yeah, they did.
Last one. This is perfect. This
Okay.
is perfect. This is the fun one.
This is something.
What is your
Hold on. What is the it says something different.
Something fun.
Lighthearted, interesting, and fun question.
What's your favorite emoji? Most used. What's your most used emoji?
Prayer hands and the yellow heart.
Really? Mine's the poop emoji.
I am shocked. Shocked I am.
Yeah, that works. Usually it starts with... Usually there's the
Maggie is not happy.
Oops. Uh-oh. Mailman must be here.
Yep. There he is.
Yep. Usually it's the word bowl and then the emoji, the poop emoji.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't think to put the word bowl in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Or sometimes I might use someone is full of the poop emoji. My day is going to
the poop
emoji. See, that's my most used emoji.
Yeah, no, mine is the prayer hands and the yellow heart.
Yeah, I know. You're better than me. I got it.
Not better, just different.
All right, one more fun question.
More?
Oh no, that's not fun.
You can't put them back in.
I'm sitting by the cards. I can do whatever I want.
You are such a cheater.
Oh
my
this
God.
is perfect. Love this one.
This is how we're ending the podcast. Yes.
Yes. If a movie, well, it's your birthday, so this is actually very topical.
Okay.
If a movie was made of your life, what genre would it be, and who would play you?
What genre or genre?
Genre. I knew a guy in high school.
It would be a romantic comedy.
Of course, it would.
Who would play me? Oh my goodness. Melissa McCarthy could play me.
That's not right.
No. Who would you want to play me?
I think I'm going to refuse to answer on the grounds that it may incriminate me. I have no...
Jen Lilly could play me. She's the Hallmark actress. She does comedy very well.
Of course, a Hallmark actress. Yes, of course.
Well, she was on Days of Our Lives, too.
Okay. That's actually a good question. I don't know who could play you. That's a good question. I have to think about that, and we don't have enough time on this here podcast.
Okay. What genre would yours be? Action.
Action adventure, baby. Well, see, I would...
Actually, no, because you sit in an office.
Thanks for that.
Who would play you, Jer? Sean Connery? Oh, sorry, he's dead. Next.
Well, wouldn't be far off the mark. Actually, Sean Connery would be pretty cool. Bruce Willis would have been cool too, but poor guy. Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
For years, I figured that the person that would play my TV movie would have been Anthony Edwards, but of course, he also died in Top Gun, so that's not good either.
But he's still alive.
Yeah, I know. But Goose, Mother Goose.
Wow. Okay.
So one more time, happy birthday to
me.
you.
Happy birthday to me.
You. Happy birthday, dear Mary Beth.
Happy birthday to me.
56, baby.
That's right. Just getting started,
baby.
Just
getting started.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much for being here.
I'm Jerry.
I'm Mary.
Here on the Mary and Jerry podcast. Listen on your favorite podcast sites and YouTube, and follow us on all those.
Hit that subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe button. And added bonus, check out the Patreon page. Help us out.
Yes, prarefully consider supporting
I just
podcast.
Found out that doing a podcast is definitely not for the faint of heart when it comes to your wallet. Just going to put that out there in the verse.
Okay. Oh, my gosh. Thanks, guys, for listening. Until next time, God bless.